I'm Mel Stewart, and this is the SwimSwam Podcast. Joining me today is somebody I've wanted to talk to forever since I got an email back in 2015 from this 2020 Olympic silver medalist. Today, we're talking to Erica Sullivan from a city that I consider the greatest on earth, Austin, Texas. How you doing?
I love Texas just as much. It is the greatest city on earth. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
This is a cool town. This is a fun town.
I didn't realize how much I'd love it. I was kind of nervous just going from like Vegas to coming to Texas. I was really scared, but I love Austin. It truly is the greatest city in the world, and you have a little bit of everything here.
Well, I've never interviewed you, so let's go back to the beginning, the genesis. 2015, you email SwimSwam, and it comes to me, it comes to Braden, our editor-in-chief, and it's just a video from your club team. Did you capture that video?
I did. It was my June National vlog, was it not?
Yeah, it was. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. I bought that camera myself. It was $100. Canon little handheld point and shoot, and I edited it using iMovie. And I've always had a knack for movie making and stuff like that. So that was the start of it all. Didn't really pick up as I had to focus on swimming a little bit more, and I couldn't just record everyone during swim meets. But it was fun to do when I was younger.
That's how it all starts. We're going to get into the entertainment aspirations in a minute. Let's swim nerd it up first. You know, I follow your account. If you guys are listening right now, press pause and jump over and follow her on IG, Erica.Sully, Erica.Sully. Look for the blue check mark. Get the follow. You're going to like her account. It's awesome. I basically saw from your post that you had some shoulder challenges, and I was like, but I don't want to like make light of it, but it's like it's a swimming thing, but it's like if you were ever going to have a situation where you had to rehabilitate your shoulder, it's the post-Olympic year after you picked up some hardware. Where are you at with that?
Yeah, I'm pretty much fully healed now, back in the weight room, back doing yardage. It's more so just the stage where I didn't really train for 2.5 months. So, and as someone who does a lot of heavy yardage and a lot of endurance-based stuff, I think it's just building my aerobic base back and being able to last a mile. So I was in Mission Viejo for the Pro Series last weekend. Super happy with my 2 free, but past the 2 free, a lot of my distance events have a long way to go. So it's honestly just.
You still picked up gold and silver. You picked up a gold in the 1500, silver in the 800. I mean, you gotta give it the respect it deserves.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it the respect. I just hold myself to a really high standard, I think. So, I'm aware that my splits need to be a lot more sharp, and I feel like with training, I'll definitely get there soon.
So how was your 200 free? In the end, I saw your 1500 and your 800, but I didn't see the 200.
Yeah, it was B final. Ended up going 202 at night. Just not necessarily like the time I particularly wanted, but the way I swam that race, I was really happy with. My legs were able to hold the whole 200, which makes me excited.
And you got gold and silver in the 1500, 1800, 800 and 1500. What's what is it? Is it just you need more lungs, you need more base to really feel like you can get your arms around those races?
Just like more, my comfort speed has to be faster. My splits were 33 mid at the meet, whereas in Tokyo I was going around 31 lows. So just gotta pick up some speed is honestly the big thing, and be able to hold it. Those are the big two.
Well, you're with Carol, and you're coming out of a powerhouse club team. How would you compare the two cultures? Like what's been the shift from that period of time to now the Carol Capitani training?
Yeah, culture shift. I would just have to say, and I think this is just being a part of a collegiate team, is the emphasis on team culture. Texas does a really good job with team culture. The group that we took to NC2As last year was one for the books. That'll be a core memory for me. Yeah, just being with kids who are closer in age and having drive, not just in the pool, but also out of the pool with school and stuff like that is very motivating. I feel like with my club team, there's a lot of emphasis on swimming, and that was everything, which is very respectable, but not much attention geared towards school and education. So the fact that, the last year I kind of had to learn how to do school again after not doing it for 3 years definitely threw me for a loop, but I've been loving it.
Yeah, that's right. Because you committed to USC, and then you decommitted, and you committed to University of Texas. How many years do you have left? Just if collegiate eligibility.
Yeah, so they gave me 3 total, so I have 2 left.
Nice. We just wait, just a confirmation. You're going to be in the mix. We got you. Every time I go to any meets, I always have a conversation with Carol. It seems like and also when I'm hearing from you, it just seems like she's a good human being. It seems like she values the character of her athletes over not necessarily just what they can do in the water. Is that a fair statement?
Oh yeah, she's all gung ho about team culture, and just the kind of person you are, and um, the energy that you bring to the pool deck. And Carol is so caring and understanding with her athletes, including myself, and knows when they need to be pushed, which is a very rare combination to have in coaches nowadays. And yeah, I love her a lot. She's the best.
The so I was diving into your account on IG, which is what you do before podcast. But I pulled up something that it was a statement. I think it was a P&G statement, and I really liked it. It just it hit me, kind of hit me in the chest, and I just loved what you said, and I shared it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Probably not. I
I,
that
I,
was that
I'll
was
tee
a
it up.
month of a lot of motivational statements.
I'm going to tee it up. You're part of the LGBTQIA plus community, and it was a statement. You're like, hey, some athletes come out, and there's this idea that they come out and that their careers don't go well, and I think basically you called BS on that, and I just like the authenticity with the way you delivered it, and you don't even remember.
I just speak my truth. Whatever comes to me in the moment comes to me. I definitely don't go into those things. Same with like the Tokyo press conference, like with pre-forethought about what I want to say. I just kind of go in there and whatever I'm feeling, I say.
You're not the first that you're not the first athlete, elite swimmer that's out and is in history, but it feels like you're the most powerful and positive ambassador. Do you feel that? Do you feel a weight on your shoulders? Is it something that it's just like, hey, this is organic. This is just me.
Yeah, I don't particularly feel weight on my shoulders, but it's definitely something that I feel should be brought to people's attention. Just because when I was coming out, I knew that I wasn't the first one out. But, when you back in the day when I thought like queer swimmers, who comes to mind? At least for Americans, no one was coming to mind. Not immediately, at least. Like the more educated I got on it, I was able to find a couple people. But a lot of them came out after their careers were over or, when they weren't as relevant anymore, so to speak. So it was just really hard to identify with someone. And I think, when I was given the opportunity to be put on, the highest stage that you can be in the sport of swimming, I decided to, be that person for anyone who follows behind me.
It's I'm a little bit older than you are, and I'm so I was on the team in '88 and '92, and it was a very different culture.
Yeah.
Very different culture. I think there was. I don't want to call people out, but I'll call them out. There was bullying. It was let's just say that the shift has been dramatic, and it's something that I've seen but it just feels the most, it feels like everything came of age in the last 4 years. And I laid that at your feet. And I like that.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. Yeah, I'm sure bullying definitely still goes on within the US and in the sport of swimming, but if I see it, I just have the mentality of if boys want to be mean, it's probably because I pull more girls than they do.
It's Pride Month.
Yep.
We had this conversation off camera. I'm like, what are you doing? And I loved your answer, so I want to hear it here.
What am I doing for Pride Month? Well, I'm not a big parade kind of gal. It's super hot in Austin. If anyone lives here, you know that we're hitting triple digits with humidity. I hate sitting in my car after practice so much to the point. And so I'm just going to be a low key gay person, just to try to raise some money for charities of my choice. And Out Youth Texas, the link is in my bio on my Instagram. We're trying to raise, we passed our goal of raising $1,000, but we're trying to get, anything we can at this point. And I'm just hanging out with my girlfriend. That's pretty much all I'm doing.
What's the link one more time?
It's for Out Youth. It's in my bio on my Instagram for GoFundMe. And we've raised $1,300 so far, but we're trying to get a little bit more.
Okay, we're going to drop that in the show notes so you guys can go in and support when we go live. It's this is what I really want to talk about. It's I know that we talked about it before. I wasn't sure, but it's is it fair to say you're in film school?
I am in film school, UT Austin. I'm in College of Moody, and I'm a radio, television, film major.
And when did you make that decision? Like, is this something that when you emailed me back in 2015, you're like, I'm going into film?
It's been years. It has been years. The main reason I picked USC when I was 16 was because of film school. That had a big part to do with it. I don't know why I've always been drawn to it. I just knew that that's the industry that I wanted to work in. I feel like at 15, though, I didn't particularly know what I wanted to do. I didn't know whether it was like television, film, post-production, pre-production. I was just kind of learning as much as I could about it. But I pretty much knew what I wanted to do by my senior year of high school after watching Lady Bird for the first time. So since then, I've been all gung-ho about screenplay writing and directing coming of age movies.
Just out of curiosity, have you seen the indie In Between Girl?
I have not.
You need to see In Between Girl. It won did it win? It won the Austin Film Festival. UT grad, was a writer director. And it was a New York Times critic pick. It just came out. It's on Prime now. And In Between is one word. Okay. It's great. And it's a coming of age movie.
I'll definitely check it out. I love female centric coming of age films. I feel like no matter what, I can leave that movie feeling like seen and heard and thoroughly enjoy watching.
It feels like this is you need to know this writer director, and her name escapes me, but she is talented. It's so I'll send you some details when this is over.
Sounds great.
But so what is there? Do you so coming of age? Are you developing anything? Do you write?
Yeah, it's mostly writing right now. I made a short film when COVID was going on to apply to RTF here at UT, and that was around a 5-minute short film, pretty simple. But since then, during peak COVID, I wrote a entire movie. It's just sitting in my docs right now. I kind of don't want to release it anywhere or put it in a black box until I have enough connections to see what I really want to do with it, because that's a movie that I kind of want to have the rights to direct. So I'm holding it and I'm keeping it to myself right now. But a lot of writing. I write a lot of screenplays. Yeah.
I've felt that writing is so close to swimming because you are alone with your craft. You've got to stay focused. You're a swimmer, your head's underwater. You've got to stay focused. The difference between good and great is your ability to stay present with what you're doing. And is that your experience?
Yeah, honestly, I think writing might be harder than swimming. Um, Writing, like at least swimming, you have some sort of awareness that you're getting better as you're training. Like in a week, your 200 times are a little faster, or it's easier to get across the pool. But I feel like with writing, you're just like, it's just page after page after page, and you do not see an end until you, and it takes a solid couple months to be able to write out an entire movie. So by the time I finished writing it, I did not want to look at it for a few months. I did not want to think about it. And in that sense, I think it's definitely harder than swim.
It definitely takes, it's a lot of discipline because you can't, yeah, you're not moving. But if you get
And
inside your head, you're going to be there.
you have no idea how it's going to do. Like I've written whole scripts of 30-minute short films around 30, 50 pages, and I read it and it just doesn't deliver the emotion that I want to deliver. And it's like, oh, gotta scrap that one. There goes weeks of writing, you know.
I love that you're in this. I love this. So here's the dumb question that most people want to ask is, I know Matthew McConaughey's on staff. So have you had him lecture any classes?
No lecturing any classes yet. I'm still in like generic film classes. I was in a media and society class last semester, an intro to world cinema, but um I want to say my second half of sophomore year, I'll start to go a little more specific into production classes. Um, if I do ever get a chance to get lectured by McConaughey, though, I definitely have some things to say to him. That's a class. I feel like with radio, television, film, you're in a class. So that's such a common major here. You go into a class with around 200 people, and you kind of got to do your thing to stand out. Especially with McConaughey, I feel like it's very cutthroat for his attention. So that would be one of the classes where I walk in with the silver medal around my neck and go up front and introduce myself, try to get a little bit of an advantage there.
Yeah, I mean, you have to respect the guy. He was stuck for so long in rom-coms, and Dallas Buyers Club it wasn't like that just happened. He had to do three or four indie films before he'd sink his teeth into that. But Dallas Buyers Club broke
That was
him.
a great movie. Him and Jared Leto really, really did amazing things with that movie.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. The So how long before you graduate?
So I'm set to graduate in 2025, but I'll be done swimming by 2024.
Yeah, so
So
you'll have time to dig in.
I will. And I'm going to take my fourth year to take my semester abroad in LA and try to really build some connections.
That's interesting that you bring that up because my understanding is that Netflix 2 and HBO Max 2 is going to be headquartered here in Austin, and it feels like a lot of the industry is moving to this town. Are you hearing that in class?
Um, I feel like that's not really pursued yet. It's more so the narrative of, be creative, your work will get picked up sort of thing. But a lot of cinema is moving to Austin. And especially with South by Southwest, it's getting bigger each and every year. Um, the only downfall is that meanwhile, production companies are moving to Austin. A lot of the money in pre-production is still all in LA. So, for writers, that's probably the move.
It's so I'm in Southwest Austin, and I'm two thoughts, and I go to the coffee shop in the neighborhood, and I'm sitting there, and the showrunner for Walking Dead is there, the head of business affairs for Warner Brothers is there, and the head photographer for Universal Studios was there, and they were sitting all around me, and I'm like I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, oh no, we live here, we fly in for work, all of our meetings are remote. So that's one. And two, I'm trying to get you to stay in Austin. That you feel it. Can you feel it? Because I like you. I want
Yeah.
you to stay here.
I think when you think of like directors that stayed in Austin, the first thing I think of is Richard Whittaker, Boyhood, and the Before Sunrise, Before Sunset movies. He's a
Linklater.
big Austin-based director, but
I got some friends who are showrunners, and I have one buddy who's an Academy Award winner. He produced Spotlight, but
great movie.
Sugar S23. And in talking to them, I'm like, what's it like? Because it used to be that you'd start in the morning. If you're a writer director, you'd start in the morning and you might have meetings all over town. You'd spend 4 hours in your car driving all over LA. And they're like, nope, not anymore. It's everybody meets by Zoom. So you get to live in LA. You're still gonna have your meetings, a lot of your meetings on Zoom.
Very true, very true. I think I'm not determined to be tied down to a specific city. Wherever I get work is my conclusion. But yeah, you definitely will not see me in a country. You'll see me in either Austin, LA, or New York. That is one of the three.
Yeah, it fits well. All right, let's bring it back. Let's get it back to you're a speedo athlete. You're a newbie speedo athlete. How's that been?
God bless NIL. It's been really good. Getting to be a speedo athlete with Reagan and Kieran has been really, really fun. They've been my buddies since I was 16, 17 years old. So getting to do photo shoots with them and mess around with them is pretty great.
I think being a speedo athlete really is all about the speedo shoot. It's the speedo shoot. It's coming together, telling your coach you're working out, but are you really just doing warm up? And then you're at craft services. It's a good experience. So I have to ask you, do you have your make waves moment?
Yeah, I think a big moment for me would be my second Team USA trip. So it would be World Champs in 2019. I feel like my first one with Pan Pacs, I was just a newbie, didn't really fit in, didn't really know my belonging in the groups up there. Didn't really know who to hang out with, wasn't particularly close with anyone, and I had fun and they were all super welcoming, but I didn't really feel my sense of belonging, if that makes sense. But by the time round two rolled around the next year at Worlds, it was really something. I got super close with Ashley and Haley that year with open water, and just all the veterans, which was super exciting. Um, and even now, just getting to text Ashley after she had her newborn boy, and texting her about that has been absolutely crazy. And I think, because of that 2019 moment where I looked up to those open water girls for so long, getting to like receive text messages about her having a baby is just like absolutely crazy.
Ashley Twitchell.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes. We got to say last name. Ashley Twitchell, who's awesome. During the pandemic, there was a name that came across the screen of my phone, and I showed it to my wife, and it was Mark Spitz. Do you know who Mark Spitz is?
I do know who Mark Spitz
is. Okay, just got to check. But that I felt like everything that had been accomplished in swimming had been accomplished, and it was time to retire and just leave, because that was Olympics, SwimSwam, talking to Mark Spitz. So we spent much of the pandemic talking about Netflix and lots of different things. So that's a good segue into, what's your show? Are you a binger, or do you watch an episode and wait? Do you grind it out? How do you consume your entertainment?
I can go through content pretty fast. Right now I'm focused on literature. I've been on a big reading grind for the last year or so, just trying to, for the sake of my writing, just trying to learn and read and educate myself on structure and timing of scripts and just like word length. I feel like it's very easy to write, 10 pages about this really raw emotional scene, but then it just is too long and you just lose audience. So I've been reading a lot more to just try to learn it in my head, but I'm usually a binger. I'm watching Wilds season 2 right now. That's my favorite TV show. I love the Wilds. Love the Wilds on Amazon Prime. Absolutely love it. Talked about it all throughout the Olympic run. Ate it up. I love the Wilds. And then as soon as I'm done with the Wilds, I'm probably going to be binging Stranger Things season 4. I'll finish that right away. I have to. And my girlfriend and I are watching together. I've already seen it before, but I'm rewatching it with her. Is the Hulu show with Kate Blanchett, Mrs. America.
Okay, I have to pick that up. That's ringing a bell. But anyway, I'll check it out. Did you know that Stranger Things is based on a true story?
I did not.
Research it. It's based on a
Is
true
it
story.
is it because of the Duffer Brothers and their process growing up?
I don't know, Duffer Brothers from Durham, North Carolina. I've dug into their background a little bit. No, this was a government program. I mean, I don't know if we broke into another dimension. I don't think that's true, but it's based on the government spending on research with kids who are who are experiencers and who have those powers. It wasn't MK Ultra, but it was something like that. But President Clinton apologized for it publicly.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But The Wilds, I haven't done the next season, but I have done Stranger Things final season, and so win the gold medal there.
Okay.
You gotta dig in.
I'm excited. I've been seeing memes of it all over my TikTok. So I just want to join the joke. So I'll definitely hop on it pretty soon.
All right. As we close out, I'm going to throw a hard question at you. We know what's going on. You've got the full swim experience. You've got the Olympic hardware. You're at a great school. You're in a great town. But we know that this career is building. So we're looking now 10 years into the future. Where will Erica Sullivan be career-wise? What if you've achieved if you're on that path to achieving your dreams, where are you going to be? What's it look like?
10 years, 31. I would definitely want to be able to direct my own feature film that I've written myself by then. That'd be big. Don't know how much funding I'd have at that point. If I could get it fully funded by A24, that'd be the dream. That's just my do or die production company. Love A24. Would love to collaborate with them and have them be able to produce one of my scripts. But yeah, if I get an A24 movie, we're looking at Oscar nominations. We're looking at grand advertising. We're looking at like cult following at that point. So yeah, that would be the dream.
I'm pulling for you. I hope to see that.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the SwimSwam Podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam Podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.